200mm disc brake rotors are fast becoming the norm in mountain biking. This is the latest Fox 36 trail fork that now comes with direct mount for 200mm rotors. And this is my Trek Fiora EX, a trail bike from last year, and that came with 200mm rotors up the front. Well, actually, it came with 203 rotors because I'm running Shimano here, and that got me thinking, why the heck does Shimano do 203 rotors, not 200? Now, this is not a sponsored video. I'm not sponsored by Shimano, but I'm running Shimano and I have 203 rotors on there. And one day I just thought, why are they 203 rotors, not 200? I mean, the increment for disc brakes seems to be 140, 160, 180. And then 200 makes perfect sense. In fact, that's what SRAM are running, 200mm rotors. But Shimano do 203. So why do they do 203? If you search the internet for the answer to this question, well, this is what I got. The slightly larger size provides marginal increase in braking surface area, allowing for better heat dissipation and potentially more consistent braking power. We're talking about 3mm of rotor here. That's 1.5mm either side of the diameter. Let me show you and put it into perspective. So this is a 203 rotor. If we measure it straight through the center of that disc, then it measures a diameter of 203mm. 1.5mm either side of this disc is the extra braking surface that you're getting. You can't tell me that that's enough surface to create better braking performance. So as I sit here with my slightly noisy and comically Christmas cracker sized tape measure, I'm reminded of the two different measuring systems, the imperial and the metric. So the millimeters and centimeters versus the inches. And when you look at it, 203 is actually exactly 8 inches. And it got me thinking, is this the battle? Is this SRAM in America versus Shimano in Japan with their metric versus imperial? Then I got confused because the industry was imperial and then it moved over to metric. So did Shimano just buy some imperial disc cutting machine from the past and stick with it? Or is there something more afoot? And I think actually the answer lies in the confusion, but I found it quite interesting, so I thought I'd share it with you. We all know the bike industry just loves to mix and match standards, or not, as the case may be, and they do that with measurements as well. I mean, I have a 15-inch frame with a 30mm stem and 29-inch wheels and 170mm cranks. Yeah, there's definitely some mixing and matching going on. It's very confusing. The industry started with inches and then it moved over to millimeters and centimeters when the whole industry converted to metric. And in fact, Shimano brought out their new larger sized disc rotors when the industry was still working on inches. So for you guys out there who are as old and mature as me, you'll remember measuring your suspension in inches. Perhaps they were 4-inch rather than 140 or 150mm. Maths is failing me. And basically, when Shimano brought out their new larger disc rotor size, it was an 8-inch rotor because that was the measurement we were working with back then. So they were effectively the first to come out with that size, and it was an 8-inch rotor. In fact, this was for downhill bikes back in the day. And so when they continued doing this size for modern trail bikes, they stuck with the 8 inches. So that is exactly 203. Well, actually it's 203.2 if you want to be really specific on the millimeters there. So when the likes of SRAM came out later with their larger rotor size, we'd all moved on to millimeters, and I guess maybe SRAM just wanted to follow the nice increments of 140, 160, 180 and then 200, or maybe they're just defiant. I don't know, I didn't ask them. But anyway, it's not that Shimano were trying to be different with 203. Maybe we could say SRAM were trying to be different with 200. Originally 203 was the original, basically. Is one better than the other? Probably not. We're talking 3mm here. I think there's always going to be camps that brands fit into. You know, there's already the debate between mineral oil and dot fluid and 6-bolt rather than direct mount disc rotors. And here's another camp for you to fit into, 200 versus 203. The truth of it is it doesn't make a massive difference for normal riders. You just need to know which one you have so that you can make sure that you buy the right standard for your bike if you're making any adjustments or upgrades or replacements. So for example, if you already have 203 rotors, you can go and buy the latest Fox 36 with direct mount for 200mm rotors, but bear in mind that they won't actually fit because the rotor size is a bit bigger. So you actually have to put these cute little shims under the mounts for the caliper in order to raise it up 3mm so that it can take 203 rotors. But generally, if you just buy what is compatible with your caliper or your rotor, then you're all good. And I don't think we need to worry about the performance benefits of either, because what am I going to say? It's just bikes. It's not that deep. Anyway, that was a really long-winded answer to a very small, big, little question. But if you like this, then let me know. Give me a thumbs up and let me know down in the comments below if you have a little question that you want me to deep dive into and answer.